is the Global Digest think tank group. We are podcasting global issue, including legal issue, and you are one of our guests today as you are a judge, legal expert. So we will have a brief conversation about legal issue and global issue, including human rights, corruption, and those things. So before we start our conversation, Okello, why don't you introduce to our audience where are you right now and what is your background? Please, Okello.
Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me here. My name is Okello and I'm from Ethiopia. And I have a bachelor degree in law. And I'm a junior legal practitioner. And I graduated a few years ago and I'm currently working as a judge here in Ethiopia. And Ethiopia is not known by, most of the time it's not known by people like me. But yeah, there are people like me out here, and I'm from one of the regions in Ethiopia called Gambela. It's part of Ethiopia, and the most difficult thing in my area is we have a very bad security issue. It's the security issue here in our country is very bad, and we're having difficulty carrying out our job because of the security, because of the day-to-day conflict in our area, and this is one of the challenges we're facing.
I see. So
And
you
we're
are
facing all the challenges.
your area right now is a military conflict between government and opposition, something like that.
Yeah. We're facing this kind of problem currently in our area, and this is one of the things which is making us not working, not carrying our job well, and when we go to work, we go to work facing fearing uh, for our security, for our own security, and this is one of the problems we're carrying out our job.
Is there any fighting inside the city or outside the city?
The fight yesterday there was a fight, and it's not very close in the city, but when we start there, there is a possibility that it escalates and it reach here in town. And I'm in town. I'm working from the town, but when it starts there is always a possibility that it can also start here. So this is one of the problems we're facing right now.
Yes, insecurity and unstable and conflict area, justice system is very difficult, right? You have a lot of stress,
Yeah.
and a lot of pressure from surrounding that may be difficult to do judgment or fair judgment or many issues, right?
Here, like I said before, Gambela is one part of Ethiopia, and it is in the southwestern part of the country. And in this area, there are 5 ethnic groups. There are 5 ethnic groups, and among these 5 ethnic groups, 2 ethnic groups have some kind of political challenges. They fight between themselves, and whenever these 2 ethnic group fights, the fight, well, if it starts outside of the city, there's always a possibility that it extends to the main town and everywhere. And now the fight is between these 2 ethnic groups. Even though the fight is between these 2 ethnic groups, it collects to the city. And now the insecurity is everywhere in the city. Even right now, I'm from the main town of the region, but we're having this kind of problem.
How did you consider current Ethiopian government is democratic government or what kind of government? How did you see that?
Yeah, it's a democratic government. I can say that. Yeah, it's a democratic government, and it's hard. It's hard. And the democracy process is hard. It's everywhere,
Right.
and yeah, it's hard and everywhere. But we are in the process. We are in the process to completely make or exercise democracy. But I can say it's a democratic program. It's a government so far. It's a good government so far.
Before, the government in Ethiopia was some kind of military government or something like that.
It was long ago that it was in 19 something.
I see.
And since 1990, the democratic government started to be established here in Ethiopia. So it was in 1994 that the federal government was formed in Ethiopia. So since 1994, after 1994, Ethiopia has been led by the federal government, the democratic government.
We can say Ethiopia is improving democracy nowadays.
Yes, yeah, we can say that. Yeah, we are in a better process and we are making progress so far.
I see. So I guess under democratic system, the justice system will also much better.
Yeah, it's much better now. We are enacting new laws, and the laws that we had before, they were enacted during the hierarchy region. In 1960, all the laws we had it were enacted in 1960, but now currently new laws are being enacted, and we are adapting to the new world, and we are making new laws. So we are in a better progress now, and there's even currently and not so far, the government is trying to amend the constitution of the country. So there is a chance that in the coming few years, the constitution of the country will be amended, and that would be a good thing for the entire country.
So I'm not a legal expert, and I don't have legal, background. That's why I'm asking. In justice system, example, the judge has to be how to make fair. Sometimes, especially authoritarian or corrupt judge.
Normally, there are principles and there are laws internationally which are accepted by everyone and which applies everywhere. And one of those principles I can mention the Bangalore principles. Under the Bangalore principles, judges are expected to carry out their duty independently from anyone influence. So they shouldn't be influenced, or they should not be manipulated by anyone when they carry out their duty. So they should independently carry out their duty. And in the same way, in our country too, we have a code of conduct. We have judicial code of conduct. And in this judicial code of conduct, judges are expected to carry out their duties independently from anyone, without anyone influence or manipulating them. But in reality, when we come to day-to-day activities, there are lots of influences. Even in my area, the government always do not respect this right of judges when they carry out their duty. So there's always manipulation and influence. And when you do something, when a judge make a judgment independently from without respecting the higher authority, there's a chance that the judge may be expelled from that position. And this is one of the problems we're facing. This is one of the challenge judges are facing, and they're not completely free from carrying out their judicial duties. So yeah, it's everywhere. This is something we have to fight. We have to fight. So this is something we're currently facing.
I mean, you were saying about political group are interfering justice system, right?
Yes.
And powerful, especially authoritarian government, military government will be almost nothing. The judge has freedom. They will be
Yes.
even 100% absolutely control. Even they may command, I guess, the judge what to do and what to say is commanded by military dictator or something like that.
Yeah.
It's terrible. What about the judge role? Once, police or prosecution manipulated, or how the judge can make a fair judgment and how they can play the role in this kind of, we can say is corruption or something like that.
Yeah. This we can say this is corruption, and the role of judges in this kind of issues. Actually, the judges do not have that kind of power. We don't really have that kind of power, but that does not mean that whenever they want to they want us to change a statement, we will always go with what they want us to do according to their will. But our role is, for instance, I'm facing a lot of problems. I'm facing a lot of challenges personally when I carry out my duty, and that is we have president. We have a president, and when when I'm entertaining certain case, and an order came to me that an order from outside or from higher officer that I shouldn't do something. What I will do is I'll go and talk to my president and give that case to him so that he can do that case on his own. This is one of the play. This is one of the part that this is one of the work that I'm trying to do, because the president have high authority than me. And when I face this kind of challenge, I go to the president and give that issue to him, and he will be the one carrying out and entertaining. So this is one of the way I'm trying to do my part. I'm trying to do my part. So this is what I'm trying, what I do when I face this kind of challenge.
But the judge has final say on the case, right?
Yeah, the judges have final say. Yeah, even though they have the final say, you can give judgment, but will that judgment be enforced? Because there's a difference between giving judgment and enforcing the judgment which is given. So you can give judgment, whatever kind of judgment you, based on the Constitution, the principles of the Constitution, you can give judgment. The prosecutor do not give the judgment. The judges give the judgment, but the prosecutor will not prosecute or execute the judgment which is given by the judges. So so there's two different things. The judge can give the judgment, but the problem is enforcing the judgment which is given by the judge, because the law enforcer are, some of them or most of them are agents of the government itself. So even though the government, the judge gives the judge gives a judgment, when it reaches to enforcement, there might be gap. So the enforcer, because they are the government agents themselves, they might not enforce the judgment which is given by the judge directly. So they may shift it, and they may try to challenge it. Yeah, there are these kind of issues. So the problem is not judgment. Judgment can be given, but the problem is enforcement. So this is the problem. There is a judge, there's a prosecutor when the issue is a criminal issue. When the issue is a criminal issue, the prosecutor on behalf of the government sue the criminal. And when the judgment is given, the prosecutor do not, because the prosecutor is a government agent itself, they will not go up to the end to enforce the government, which is to enforce the judgment which is given by the judges. So yeah, this is the problem. So this is the gap. This is the prosecutor, because the prosecutor is in a better position with the government. They are government agents, but judges are not government agents. Judges are independent. They should have been independent. That's what the law says. That's what the principle says. Because there are three organs of government. We have the legislative organ, we have the judicial organ, and we have the executive organ. So judicial organ conduct or carry out their duty. When they carry out their duty, the executive organ is supposed to execute the duties which are rendered by the judicial organ. So there's a gap here, which means even though that the judge give the judgment or carry out their duty, the law enforcer may not enforce the laws according to the judgment which is given by the judge. So this is one of the problems we're also facing. Here in my country, judges are hired by the government itself. So the president of the region hired the judges. And one thing I want you to know is that, and I want the audience to know is that, laws are on papers. I can say that because they're not applied. They're not on application. So a judges can do his work or a work properly, but because of the high power which is given to the government, they don't really have that role. They don't really have that power which the laws give them. They don't have anything to do. There's nothing they can do. If they say they're going to do something, the government directly remove them from their position, because the government is the one that hired them in the first place. So since the government is the one that hired them in the first place, the big role is played by the government, not by the judges or anyone. Those who are in power are there controlling everything, controlling everyone. So even though the laws allow the judges to work, they don't really care of their work because of fear of being removed from their position. So this is one of the things which I believe in the near future, if a good government comes, this is something that should be worked on, I think. And the system here in Africa, in whole Africa, and especially in Ethiopia, is very different and it's very difficult.
I see.
Yeah, it's very difficult and it's very problematic. And here in my region, in particular, I think it's very hard. I think it's very hard.
Insecurity.
And we don't really have the role to play. We just do what the government wants us to do. That's it.
And
Yeah, so
when we talk about government means too broad. There are many sector and many employee and staffs. So even a single staff or employee mistake, it will cost the government name, in order to avoid blame on the government. How we can prevent such kind of staff or employee, even a single person mistake can cost a lot,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Corruption is what is killing us here. corruption to the maximum. I can say that. You might not really know about Gambela region, but yeah, if you search it online or anything like that, I think you will get good insight about the Gambela region. So Gambela region in Ethiopia.
I see.
Yeah, it's bordering South Sudan.
I see. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, it's between South Sudan. So corruption is the main thing which is killing Gambela and the entire system of the government.
Currently, you are
And,
here.
mm-mm.
You are in Gambela right now, right?
Yes, I am in Gambela. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
this is my home. Yeah, this is my home, and the corruption is what is killing us.
I
You
see.
see, yeah, you see, there are no infrastructures, and there's no good government. Even the people are facing clean water problem. They don't have clean water, and they don't have good access to uh, good education, and all that. We are facing all kinds of problems, and what is making that worse is the corruption that we are facing. So corruption is very high, and almost every government sector is controlled by the government and few individuals. Government and few individuals, and when a corruption is committed, no one will be answerable. No one will be responsible for that. Even last year, 58 million or something like that were lost, and until today, no one was held accountable for that. So the biggest problem we're country facing is corruption problem, and citizens, they don't really have the voice. They don't have the voice, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Maybe about corruption among employee or staff in government office. Probably, I guess the administration, that is administration problem, right? I mean,
Yeah,
within administration, it should be made punishment, right? The
yeah,
patient issue, it is more related to administration.
mhm,
They can punish one employee or staff from the government office, then
mhm,
it may be a better employee where they can recruit, they can make
yeah,
better administration system in that way.
yeah. Yeah, when it comes to verifying evidences presented before the court of law, the judges themselves verify the evidences. They verify the evidences provided before them, and they make the judgment according to the evidence provided before them. Yeah, they have a lawyer, for instance, attorney, for instance, when it's a civil matter, the attorney have the access to evidence of their client. So when they come before the court and they argue on behalf of their clients, they have all the evidences their clients have. So they have the access to evidences of their clients, and the judges have the they after the when the entertainment of the case started, the judges will be presented with the evidences the attorney and the clients have. So when the judge makes the judgment after the case is entertained, they base their judgment based on they base their judgment on the evidence provided to them by the clients and their attorney. So attorneys have access to evidences of their clients. And when it comes to public prosecutor, the public prosecutors also have all the evidences to to prove their 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 allegation before the court of law. because the public prosecutor, they are agents of the government, and they are representing the government when they argue before the court of law. So they have all the evidences they think will help them prove their allegation before the court of law. So the judges have the evidence, the access to give evidences, the attorney have, and the public prosecutor have. So all of these, they have access to evidences before the court of law.
But final decision, final verification will be the judge, isn't it? He has his own role for final saying, final decision, and verification evidences, isn't it?
Yes, they will rely on their own verification, on their own judgment, influenced by the public prosecutor or the attorney. But the problem is, like I said before, since there's a connection outside there, between the public prosecutor and the attorney and all the other government agents, and there's a problem of administration. So despite the judgment which is given by the judge, the enforcement might not be made accordingly. So yeah, despite having the final say on a certain case, the enforcement may vary. This is
Right.
This is